Well, hello there, and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. As always, I really do hope that, and welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it. More importantly, as always, asking for yours. Today, I must say, I did not see this coming. All I needed to do was look closely. And maybe the truth was there. It is what I am describing as a goalkeeper twist. For me personally, anyway. Gianluigi Donnarumma, being offered to Premier League clubs. Enrique don't want him anymore. Chelsea fans, me included, thought, After watching Rob Sanchez chuck some in his own goal last season, or pass out to opposition defenders, causing big chances, he led the league for errors leading to goals, etc. I was terribly excited. But I'm going to, spoiler, we're going to look at some stats. We're going to look at some stats together, and maybe your mind will be blown just like mine was. It does look like, at time of recording, he's probably gonna go to Manchester City, which might be a really bad move for them, something I've spoken about on my second channel. But we're gonna get into it today, maybe talk a little bit about Xavi Simons, Nkunku, yada. Some transfer stuff as well, so welcome on home. Sit down, pour yourself a drink, get comfortable, put your feet up. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking this video, supporting my content. It is most appreciated. And thank you for subscribing. Lots of you who watch aren't subscribed. Naughty. Very naughty. So why not you subscribe? Hop aboard. You're most welcome. Let's get into it. Yeah, man. So context, right? GG Donnarumma. He won the quadruple last season? Yeah. With PSG. Made some big saves. Moments in big games when you go, oh, he's good, isn't he? He's been the first team goalkeeper for Milan since the age of 16, the tender young age of 16, because he's massive, and they were like, he's big, he can make big saves, stick him in goal. And he's been a high-profile goalkeeper. You know, did he succeed Buffon in goal for Italy? I think he might have. But yeah, high profile, a Galactico, if you will. So despite having a decade of first-team experience under his belt, I don't think people say underneath his belt. That sounds weird. He's got lots of experience, and as a goalkeeper, your prime years, I'm going to guess, I've been speculating, are probably, 28 to 34. For some reason, it's a little bit later, and the prime, I reckon an outfield player have a prime of, if you're not like Messi or Ronaldo, you have a real sweet spot of about 4 years, the average player, I think. Not like, there's obviously outliers to that, but I think the period's a bit longer for goalkeepers. So as a 26-year-old, he's got so much time in front of him. Now, I was interested in the goalkeeper. You got people like Simon Phillips on social media, and he's got a Substack, and I think Substack or a website. He's well informed. Chelsea have been looking for a goalkeeper, despite liking Rob Sanchez. Now, I'm going to, obviously, Man City might buy him. It would be poor on James Trafford if they've signed. If you're interested in my thoughts of Donnarumma to Man City, which after this video might become very interesting, I'd urge you now to go check out the second channel down here, Football Yannick. Just replace the word therapy with Yannick in your YouTube search, and go check out daily content over there, of course. Yes. So, firstly, from a Chelsea-centric view, because that's what we're doing here, there's huge, profound belief in the young goalkeeper Mike Penders, who is going on what will probably be an excellent loan, or in theory is a great loan at the moment at Strasbourg, if he can emulate what Georgi Petrovic did. He's got such a high ceiling as a goalkeeper. They think he's the best young goalkeeper in the world. That's what talks about Mike Penders. So maybe he goes and has one great season at Strasbourg, and they go, he needs to just come and be Chelsea's number one now. If you've got a 26, then 27-year-old GG Donnarumma, it's tough, because if Chelsea somehow signed him, it'd be on high wages. Now, PSG are asking for lots of money for him. We thought it was 26 million bonus discount, which I reflected on here. Fabrizio Romano's talking about a 50 million euros fee for a goalkeeper, firstly, with only 12 months left on his deal, secondly, who is simply unwanted by his manager, thirdly. That's right, Luis Enrique has come out and said, yeah, I want a different... He's said, literally, I want a different kind of goalkeeper. He's not for me. He's not been, of course, Gigi Donnarumma has not been named in the squad for the game tonight in Tottenham's funeral. I'm looking forward to the Super Cup, man. You know, you either laugh at Tottenham, or if Tottenham win, God forbid, you laugh at Arsenal. It's just the de facto, another European trophy for Tottenham and another, like, pain for Arsenal, which will be fun. It's all just good, fun banter. No offense, guys. Yeah, man. So, yes, not wanted, Donnarumma. And makes me think more and more and more, okay, maybe he isn't the guy for Chelsea. And now, I'm going to show you his scouting report on FBref. For context, this is a comparison with him, a goalkeeper, across all the other goalkeepers in the elite European leagues in the last 365 days, which of course is a year. So the last year, and these stats are per 90 minutes. So it's a huge body of data, and it's comparing all the top goalkeepers in Europe. So this is of FBref, and this is Gigi Donnarumma. And he's got goals against his 88th percentile, which is pretty strong. Honestly, paying for PSG in Ligue 1, I thought this would be 99. But this is where some seriously worrying stuff comes in. His save percentage is the 39th percentile, which means 61% of goalkeepers in Europe have a better save percentage than Gigi Donnarumma, which is mad. It's mad. He's not saved any 0.0% penalty kicks saved in 90, so doesn't save penalties. Clean sheet percentage is 50%. Again, playing for PSG with, like, you know, Marquinhos and Pacho in front of you. I know they've got, you know, risky flying fullbacks, but still. Touches, I mean, I'll maybe forgive him a little bit here because you're not going to see much of the ball when you've got that PSG outfield 10 in front of you just playing the ball around. And similarly, like, goal kicks and stuff. But we're going to look some more of his stats, his passing stats in a moment. But firstly, look at this, yeah? Bad. Now, I'm about to show you the much maligned Chelsea goalkeeper, Rob Sanchez, here. Look at that. Save percentage, 90th percentile. Donnarumma, yeah, 39th percentile. Rob Sanchez, 90th. Goals against, again, that's a sort of team thing, 85th percentile. Touches, way more. He's involved in the build-up at Chelsea. Crosses stopped, 98th percentile. I mean, again, it would be how many crosses our PSG faces, but still, crosses stopped, 61st percentile. And I want to look at this as well. Look at his streak. So he's got a lot more strengths, right? Lots of green here, as you can see. Lots of green. Donnarumma, let's go down. Not lots of green. You'd say four. 4 metrics are in the green. Rob Sanchez, I mean, you know, you could say these are like all the green. Rob Sanchez has infinitely better data than Gianluigi Donnarumma. Yeah? Let's look. And what's he bad at, Donnarumma? What's he bad at? Well, penalty kicks first. Passes. You know, across his face. His passing is terrible. I mean, the data with Rob Sanchez is infinitely better. Now, did you, in the 13th of August, did I think I'd be doing like a Donnarumma hit piece / PR piece for Rob Sanchez? Never I thought I'd be doing this, but Chelsea are a data team, and this is Chelsea that aren't, you know, Liverpool or Man City recently, playing in the Premier League, the hardest league in the world, versus PSG, yeah, the most dominant team by far in France, Ligue 1. And Liga, what, is the 5th best league? 5th versus 1st. Dominant force versus just a strong force. It's actually, if you add it all up, it's incredible, really. Look, the problem is with Rob Sanchez is the high-profile errors. It was the errors leading to goals. Remember, it was him and the guy, was it Ipswich? Is it Muric? The guy that used to, I forgot his name, who was at Man City. Rob Sanchez was leading the league for errors leading to goal with that keeper, and he's meant to be the Chelsea goalkeeper. We saw him kick the ball out to touch a bunch of times as well, which is frustrating. And then it's the high-profile moments that, he kicks his opposition, they score. That will glue in your brain for months. For months. All this positive data will get lost in between. That moment, brain for months. Brain for months. Now, he deserves credit, Rob Sanchez. And I've been saying this because in the Club World Cup, he was he won best goalkeeper of the competition. He put in a great performance in the final against Gianluigi Donnarumma's Paris Saint-Germain. I am not convinced. I was saying to my mate the other day, I'd need to see 6 months of good Premier League form for me to go, yeah, he could be the guy. I'd not have warm fuzzies Rob Sanchez is my goalkeeper, I feel safe. And similarly, if I'd like to see Mike, should we have a look at Mike Maignan as well? Actually, let's do that. Right, so here is Mike Maignan, as you can see. Much better save percentage compared to Donnarumma. Donnarumma's 39th percentile. Mike Maignan is the 60th percentile here. Loads of touches, 91st percentile, 91st percentile of actions, defensive actions, 96th for average distance of defensive actions. Lots of green metrics as well, compared to Gianluigi Donnarumma. Now, I can understand why Chelsea genuinely went for Mike Maignan. One, because market opportunity, 12 months left in his deal, high-profile goalkeeper. And he's 30 years old. So unlike 26-year-old Gigi Donnarumma, a 30-year-old Mike Maignan is probably the perfect age gap bridge to a young Mike Penders. He's 20, whatever he is. There's a decade between them, so you could have a couple of years of Maignan as you sort of bring in Penders, and they could succeed each other well. Probably a better age bridge than Rob Sanchez. So I'd understand why they went for it, only if he was cheap. But looking at the data, when people try and flogging goalkeepers at Chelsea, they can show that Rob Sanchez data and be like, this is it. Guys, obviously, the numbers are just the numbers. We've all watched them all season. It's the eye test as well. Although this has made me feel a lot better comparing, Sanchez, Donnarumma, Maignan, or whatever. The data looks good, and I kind of understand why they've got a confidence within them, but it is the eye test. And let's be fair, guys, it's a feeling thing as well. We've all watched games when he's done something and looked sort of passed out, and he looks wobbly and he doesn't look confident, and you can see he doesn't have that calming aura, that sort of goalkeeper authority that keeps himself calm, which keeps the defenders calm, which keeps the midfielders calm, and it bleeds up the pitch. We've seen it thinking, oh my god, what's he doing now? What's he doing now? What's he doing now? And data won't always reflect on that. Of course, we saw the errors leading to goal, which was top of the tree, and then we saw these wobbly, nervy behaviours between the sticks. That married to the errors, we were like, well, he's got to go. He's the problem. He's the problem. But I understand in terms of general play, the presented data in between, why he's seen as a appropriate goalkeeper for Maresca. Look, I'm not convinced. I don't think he's necessarily the one, but looking at if we could sign Maignan at the end of the window, I mean, it won't happen now because Milan won't replace him. I would start Mike Maignan over Rob Sanchez because I think he's calmer. Maignan. I know we just stuck 4 goals past him in pre-season, but that's not on him really. I would start him. Let me know your thoughts. Let's move on. Right, let's end on transfers then. I want to talk about Nkunku, because Nkunku did himself a favour with his performance, and I think probably more pertinently his attitude in the Club World Cup. Scored a great goal, was a team player, happy to win the trophy, and wasn't he was one of the guys. He reminded the buying world, that he's there available. It's tricky because the striker market would seem more, ripe to take advantage of, because of course the high-profile strikers, a lot of them have moved. Seshko to United, Gyökeres to Arsenal, Ekitike to Liverpool, and of course Chelsea has snapped up a Delap, who was a really desired target for Premier League and European teams. And Joao Pedro's he's a bit more niche, but they've all gone places. And there's a few teams that still need a striker. So I think Nico Jackson, at the end of the transfer window, will have suitors. He might go to Newcastle, of course. If he does, I think he'll be a great buy for Newcastle, tactically. His profile, I think, suits them really well. But let's all be real. If that happens, it means the worst has happened, which is Alexander Isak is signed for Liverpool. So I'm worried about that. I hope they make him stay. And then Nico goes to Villa or Juve or even Bayern have considered it, But speaking of Bayern Munich, Plettigol, which of course is Florian Plettenberg of Sky Deutschland, saying Nkunku is keen to join Bayern Munich, which doesn't surprise me. I always thought he'd prefer Bayern Munich than a return to Leipzig because... Bayern are Bayern, aren't they? And Leipzig, I just don't think it's ever good to go back, especially they've got no Champions League football now, Leipzig. However, it depends, of course, if Bayern re-enter the race for Nick Wultemada. I think that's how you'd say it with the German accent. A deal for Nkunku and Bayern could be down to deadline day. It's possible, apparently. So I don't think Chelsea would want to leave selling Nkunku down to deadline day. I think they wouldn't mind so much with Nico Jackson because with Nico, I think the plan is the same. They like him, they value him, and they would keep him if they need to, knowing that he could help them. But the situation with Jackson is they recognise he wants to be a starter somewhere, and they agree with that. And they're like, yeah, you could and should be a starter somewhere, and we'll make money on you, and we're thankful for your service, even if you have been a bit of a knob with your red cards. That's the idea, but it wouldn't be a disaster. They'd certainly try and integrate him and use him in games, and I wonder they'd probably put Joao Pedro more in different positions as well to accommodate the Delap Jackson swapping, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 60-30, you know what I mean. So I think they'd want to get Nkunku done first, if possible. And there is suitors for him. He is a desired player. He would command more and higher wages than Jackson, even if Jackson would want a pay rise to wherever he goes. But yeah, I think that's going to happen. Xavi Seamans as well is still top, like Garnacho. They're two... I was pleased to report or reflect on reports yesterday that it's not one or the other, which made no sense to me. They're such different players. But it's Chelsea prioritising sales, which is the right thing to do, considering the position they're in, and being relatively relaxed about their position in the squad. They like their squad. They can make it better. They could afford to buy a Garnacho and Simons late in the window and not rely on them to start as soon as they've signed. They could integrate them slowly because they believe in the squad that they've currently got, the available players that they've currently got. And shout out and credit to the sporting directors because they've built a great squad where there's no pressure on us at the moment. At least that's what it seems like so far. And the feeling is good. And many of you might have seen that publication from The Athletic about the fan optimism. Remember they did it last summer, and Chelsea were last on the table, 20th place in terms of optimism for the future. Of course, we'd just sacked Pochettino. We'd hired a championship manager in Enzo Maresca, and Chelsea were the team with the most pessimistic fan base in the Premier League, 20th place. Of course, we went on to get top 4, win the conference, win the Club World Cup, sign some excellent, exciting players this pre-season, have a good, very short pre-season, and they've done the survey again, and Chelsea have gone from the most pessimistic fan base in the league, 20th place, to the most optimistic fan base in the whole entire league, just pipping Liverpool, who are in second place, who of course are the reigning champions, who of course signed Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkies. They're having a great time. Maybe they're a bit worried about midfield or conceding goals or something, but they're still second place. But Chelsea have pipped them, world champions. Because we're on they're at the top. They've won the Prem. They're sort of hoping to do it again. We're like soaring up in terms of morale. So we've gone from 20th to 1st in terms of fan base morale and optimism, which I think is worth talking about. And, you know, credit to the project, credit to the process. Phase 1 Maresca, huge success, you know? So let's see what's going on next. We've got every reason to be excited as well. All right, guys. Let me know what you think. Please do leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, thanks for the support. Thank you for liking the video. Have you liked the video? Like it. And for subscribing. Daily content also on the second chaîne, le deuxième chaîne, as they say in the motherland. I speak about Donnarumma going to Man City and how that could be a disaster for Pep. So do check out Football Yannick on YouTube. Other than that, man, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.